Jasmine Pettigrew, Davery Willis, Abigail Andrews, Raymond Hackney, Jaslyn Davis, Nathan Gatling, Lucille Housley, Khalil Matthews, Malia Patterson, Jasa Seaton, Addison Joseph Smith Rayner, Carlia Walden, Riley Wilson, and Nicholas Tustin. This one is called Ghost Letters.
May 10, 1863, Civil War, days before the Battle of Jackson. Private Charles Smith rests after a long day of travel. His feet are propped up by the fire, his boots sit out to dry. His feet ache. He's hunched over a paper resting on his knee, his quill hovering over the page. Corporal Thomas Johnson makes his way towards the fire.
May I stay here?
Charles nods and Thomas sits down next to him and starts unlacing his boots.
Reading home?
Yeah, I swear my mom might go crazy if I don't read back.
Yeah, that's how my mom used to be. After a while, I think she just stopped expecting my letters. Now she's just waiting for my tags to come home one day. Charles, keep writing home. Don't lose that part of you.
I won't ever stop reading them, even if I die, I'll still read.
I'm sure you will.
Hey, Thomas, I know we're going to battle soon. If, something happens to me, send my tags home. Send a letter to my parents and me. My buddy would be nice, but please, at least get my tags back to them.
Yeah, Charlie, I'll get you back to them. I promise. But hey, don't think like that, alright? We're gonna be fine.
I hope you're right, Tom. I really hope you're right.
What made you enlist, kid?
I enlisted for my pops. In case I remember, farming accident. I was also pretty old, but I just wanted to do something to be with you.
Much nobler than me. I was young and dumb. Joined for the glory, or what I thought was glory, and thought it'd be something I did for a week, then moved on. Lost a lot of friends because of it. My pop stopped talking to me after I enlisted, and my mom realized it took too long for letters to get to me and gave up. I went right back to my brother, but he can't read too well, so I didn't bother.
Doesn't that get lonely?
No, the guys have become more of a family than my folks ever were. It's late. Go get some rest.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Tom. Never really had some people look out for me.
Where's kid? Get some sleep.
Charles gathers his things and returns to his tent. Thomas stays by the fire until it slowly dies down into a pile of coals before leaving to settle down for the night. May 15th, 1863. The household of the Smiths. Mr. Smith sits by the fire, his bad leg propped up on a stool. He's slowly drifting to sleep.
Frank.
What?
The letter, Frank. Come on, Charles writes at us.
Well, open it then, dear. Come on now.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith hover eagerly over the crinkled letter as they scan the words.
Dear Mom and Pop, by the time you read this, it'll probably be after the battle. We're heading into Jackson soon. This will be my first bigger battle. I'm scared. I'll write to you immediately after. Don't worry about me. I got a lot of people watching my back. Our Corporal Thomas Johnson has taken me under his wing. The other guys are all welcome in. I'm scared it won't come out. If I don't, give me a spot under the willow by the creek. Please, I'm scared. I don't want to die. I want to come home. Signed a living son, Charlie.
Here, Charlie.
Mr. Smith slowly folds the letter, tears silently running down his face. Mrs. Smith sits next to him as sobs rack her body. Mr. Smith wraps his arms around her, his eyes clenched shut as tears force their way out. May 14th, 1863. Rain is pouring down. Thomas and Charles stand together before the Battle of Jackson begins. Charles is double and triple checking his gear, while Thomas stares at the soldiers with a grim determination.
Why are we waiting?
We can't attack in the rain. Our cartridges will get waterlogged.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Are your uniforms old and tattered? Are they ripping at the seams? Well, come on down to Walter Brothers Tailor. We'll have you suited in seconds.
Your clothes just ripped. They will not zip. Come to Walter Brothers. We'll have you suited real quick.
Tell them Walter sent you.
we return to our regularly scheduled programming. The rain eventually slowed to a halt, and the union's advance continued.
I have to make sure our company is organized. I'll see you on the other side, eh?
Yeah, see you on the other.
And so the battle begins, a relentless siege in an attempt to take Jackson, Mississippi for the Union. It's hours past the end of the battle, and the Union came out victorious. Charles sits outside the infirmary, where the wounded are being attended to, hastily writing a letter home.
Fire!
Hearing the abrupt sound, Charles jumps up and rushes through the noise. He bumps into Thomas, who's also heading in that direction.
What's going on?
People are disobeying orders and destroying and plundering homes.
What? Why?
They're desperate, Charles. They're angry. They take their anger out on people not directly involved in the war to make themselves feel better.
The men scatter as more and more people approach the burning buildings. Thomas and Charles jump in to help subdue the raging flames. Faces covered in soot and throats sore from smoke, the two make their way back through Jackson until they finally reach where the rest of their company are residing.
How'd it go today?
I don't really know. I was terrified the whole time, but I felt so alive in the heat of the moment. Ready to sleep for a week, though.
Unfortunately, we aren't that lucky. We're one of the companies moving on to help General Ulysses S. Grant take Champion Hill.
I'm going to sleep.
Good night.
May 19th, 1863. The Smiths sit in their living room, watching the rain pound against the window.
I'm going to check for a letter. We should have written it.
Mr. Smith nods, his eyes dripping with exhaustion. Worry lines visible in his face. Mr. Smith rushes into the room, waving an envelope with Charles' loopy handwriting across the front. Mr. Smith sits up eagerly.
It's here, it's here.
I need to be fine.
Mrs. Smith hastily tears open the envelope, and the pair eagerly begin scanning the words.
Dear Mom and Pop, it went well. I was terrified the whole time, but I felt so alive in the heat of the battle. Is that wrong? There was so much death around me, but I felt so alive. We won the battle. Moving on to Champion Hill soon. Is it bad to say I'm most looking forward to it? Some of the other men have been burning down buildings. Thomas says they're angry. Am I supposed to feel angry? One man from our company died today. His name was James. I didn't know James very well, but he was nice enough. Died on the battlefield with no one he knew around. I don't want to die like James. We're heading out early in the morning, so I'm going to get to bed now. Sign your living son, Charlie.
He's okay.
I wish we should all just stand and we could have our sleep boiler.
Me too, me too. Don't make us do that. Be strong.
May 16th, 1863. Thomas stands with his companies. Shouting orders, he fires another shot toward the Confederates. Crouching down to reload, he turns, just in time to see Charles jerk back and fall as a bullet enters his body. We interrupt this program to bring you a message from our sponsor.
Would you like to communicate with people who have passed? What if I told you if your last conversation didn't have to be your last? With the press of a button, our glostograph opens a portal and can be used to talk to the deceased.
Grandma, is it really you?
Hello, my baby.
Your loved ones who have passed, you missed the way the days you left, so left you know when endless night, saying I love you with glostograph. Warning. When active, this product may cause anyone in the surrounding area to become possessed.
We now return to the regularly scheduled program. May 23rd, 1863. Mr. and Mrs. Smith are sitting down, hovering over the newly wrapped letter from their son.
Dear Mom and Pop, we won the battle of Champion Hill. I got shot. I'm okay though. I'm in the infirmary. It's not a nice place. There's too much death and illness around here. I haven't seen anyone from our company yet, but I'm sure someone will come visit. This battle was a great victory on behalf. General Grant is continuing on Vicksburg soon. I won't be going with them. I don't know when it would fit to help again. Signed your living sons and charges.
He was shot and my poor baby.
Be strong, Dad. I'm glad he's not rushing into any more battles.
I know, me too. I just want him to come home. I just feel helpless waiting for his letters and not knowing if he's okay.
I know, I want him from him too. I should have been the one serving, not him. Did I put too much pressure on him? What if he's serving because I can't? What if he doesn't come in because of me?
Smiths desperately clutch onto each other, tears staining both of their faces, the letter crinkled between them. May 25th, 1863. 2 more letters have arrived at the Smith household.
Delilah, we got another letter, actually 2 letters.
From Charles? It's been 2 since his last letter.
Here's one from Charles and another from Thomas Johnson.
Read Charles first.
Dear Mom and Pop, a lot of people have left today. We're moving on to the general grant. My company was part of them. They left me. No one even stopped to say goodbye. Not even Thomas. I tried to ask someone, but whenever I asked, he just ignored me. Looked right over me. It was like he didn't even see me. I'm not sure where I'm going from here. My company's left and I'm still here. I wish they didn't have to leave. Is that selfish of me? My wound is feeling a little bit better. It hurts though. I hope I get to go through my service and sign your name.
The Smiths had small smiles on their faces as they opened the second letter.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it's my great displeasure that I have to write this letter to you. I am the corporal in Charles's company, and at his personal request, I'm writing to inform you of his passing. Charles died bravely during the battle with Champion Hill. He took a fatal shot to the chest and died instantly. I'm so sorry I have to write this to you. I wish it had never been like this. You had a great son, and it was my honor to have him as a part of my company. My sincerest condolences, signed Corporal Thomas Johnson.
A set of dog tags fell out of the envelope onto Mr. Smith's hand, and 2 sets of eyes numbly fell onto the engraved name of their son.